Hello, and welcome to the Real Talk podcast. This is a completely unedited conversation, and I'm so excited to welcome Tim. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, yeah, I'm really excited to be here as well. So I'm Tim Smits. I'm working on a product. It's called Unpluq, and yeah, happy to talk about the product and about digital well-being and all the other interesting topics from Mindful Meeps.
Absolutely, and there's so much synergy between the work that we're doing, so I'm really excited for today's conversation. But we'd love to learn a little bit of background about what Unplugged is, what your background is, and how you got started.
Yeah, so that's a lot of questions at once, but I can start with what Unplug is. So Unplug is a product that allows you to change your phone into a less distracting phone. So it is a combination of software and hardware that I am creating together with my co-founder, and the idea behind it is that you have a physical key that you can plug into your smartphone, which allows you to remove distracting apps from your phone. So yeah, all around us we see that everybody gets a lot of distractions from their smartphone, mainly because your smartphone can do so much. It can help you navigate. It has your music. It has all the information from the internet. It has all your social media, all your messages. It has just so much functionality in it that it can help you in a lot of ways, but also distract you in a lot of ways. So Unplug is a product that wants to help you to regain control of your smartphone and find the balance in your smartphone use. So we do it through a combination of software on the phone and a hardware key. And the basic idea is, so it divides your phone into two different modes. And one mode, when the unplug key is in your phone, you'll have access to all the functionality of your smartphone with all the apps and all the distractions. But when you take the unplug key out of your phone, you'll have access to a lot less apps, and it's up to the user to choose which app. So how I use it personally is that I remove all my social media, games, all the distracting apps from my phone when I don't have the key plugged in, which still leaves me with a smartphone with a lot of tools, but only tools that are not distracting, if that makes sense. So that is the basic concept of Unplug.
That's amazing. And I think it's so beautiful that it's a physical key that goes into the charging port of the phone.
Hmm.
That's so interesting. Is there a story behind that?
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't talk yet about my background personally. So I am an industrial design student, and actually, I've been seeing this problem of technology on the one hand having a lot of benefits, but also having a lot of side effects in society and in mental health, but in productivity as well. So then I decided together with a really good friend of me that we wanted to do something uh, to change that and try to create a product. And then we started researching all the options that are already there. So basically looking for the solutions that there are already there to help you create a better relationship with technology. And then we found a lot of apps that already try to help you by reducing your smartphone time or giving you insight in how much you use it, for example. But on then we tried all those out, and what we found out through that is that a lot of times it's really easy to circumvent all this software again. So if you have something installed, it's really easy to just click it away and make your yeah get access to all the functionality and mainly social media again and just start scrolling again. Uh, mm, so then somehow we came to this idea of what if we would make this choice of accessing distracting apps more conscious. And the way we found to do that is by creating a physical barrier, so an actual physical action that you have to perform to access these distracting apps. And through the addition of this physical action, the choice becomes way more conscious, because normally on your smartphone, everything is available on your fingertips and you can access your distracting apps like Instagram or Tinder or other social media so easily. But through the addition of this physical key, um, you first have to make the conscious decision to plug the key in your phone, and then only you can access the distracting apps. And for example, if you have the key in your pocket and you take your phone, then you don't even see all the distracting apps, so you automatically are not pulled into them, so they are not like there to catch your attention. Only when you consciously decide to plug the key in, then yeah, then you have access to them. So that's the reason why we made this physical action with the physical key. And another option is that you can actually mm, move the key further away from you. So, for example, if you are working and you decide you really don't want to get distracted by your smartphone today, you can even give the key to a friend of you or to your housemate, to your mom, or you just put it in the kitchen in a drawer, and then you'd have to walk to the kitchen, take it, and like that, you can create a physical barrier to the distraction.
I love that on every level and just want to take a moment to appreciate the really important work that you're doing. So thank you because this is beyond needed.
Yeah, yeah. So, thanks. That's great to hear. I think it's also really needed because, yeah, of course, we started working on this problem because we experienced it ourselves. So,
Mhm.
during studying, during just working, it's so easy to get distracted by a lot of digital distractions. Mainly, social media is what is distracting, and it's also not. How can I say? It's also really easy. So these social platforms, they are created to make you scroll as much as possible, because social media, um, like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, are designed in a way to make you spend as much time on their platform as possible, because then they generate more money to for ads. So it is really that we want to counter that in a way that it again becomes a more conscious choice by the user, instead of you get another notification and you spend 20 minutes scrolling on Instagram, and then after that you realize you actually didn't even want to do that, but it happened anyway.
Exactly. And that's some of the biggest struggle is that since these platforms are designed to make money through the time spent and our attention, we lose the power. So I love that physical intention with the key. And I appreciate what you said about putting the key in another room and things like that. I actually challenged myself to a digital detox for a couple days where I put my phones and computers in the closet and close them. And it was so hard when
Hmm.
in reality to have a tool like yours to still have the functionality so you can do what needs to be done. However, having the power and intentionality behind what you're doing by selecting which apps you want. So that's really, really important. And I'm really excited to try it.
Yeah, yes, uh, yeah. I think I can send you one when we have it finished one day to try it out. Actually, I think it would be interesting to hear your thoughts on it as well.
Absolutely. So I'd love to learn more about where you are on your journey with Unplug.
Yeah, so yeah, me and my co-founder, we started developing Unpluq in a course actually on our university. It was a course that was about starting a new startup with a product. So through that, we really developed the idea. We already had the idea to come up with a solution to the problem of digital distractions, basically, but it wasn't clear in what form. And then we worked this out through the course, and afterwards we decided to launch a Kickstarter campaign because in the course and during the work we found out we were creating prototypes of the product and testing it out with people to improve it. So that's one thing that you really learn in the university I'm at. So you'll have to build prototypes and actually give them to people to try it out. And through this testing, we found that the addition of this physical key really changed the behavior of the user's smartphone, of the smartphone usage of our testers. So then we thought, yeah, let's actually try to sell this and create it in a more finished form. So we launched a Kickstarter campaign in around half of February, and then we tried to raise money for us to be able to build a more finished version of it. So of course, in the beginning, it was still a lot of things that needed to be worked on. It was only a prototype of the hardware and a prototype of the software, and then we did the Kickstarter campaign, and we successfully funded our Kickstarter campaign, and now we are basically trying to finish up the product. So I am working out the hardware elements. So the unplug key, I'm currently working on finding manufacturers for that, seeing how we can best create it, and then my co-founder Jorn, he's working on the software to further improve that. Um, so that's basically where we are at now, and then our goal is to launch, um, have everything ready in September, and in September we also want to launch Unplug in our own online store or in collaboration with somebody else, launch it not on a crowdfunding campaign but in as a real product. So that as for now our goal is really to work towards finishing everything in September, and from there are still so many possibilities to explore further. um, yeah.
Absolutely. And we're certainly present to the possibilities with you. And I'm grateful that we're able to have this conversation so early on in the development because it's so true. You need to learn from the prototype. And I love to see what you guys are creating because I know personally this would seriously transform my relationship with my digital devices. So keep doing what you're doing, and we're excited to support you along the journey.
Yeah, sounds good.
Beautiful. And I'm so happy that the Digital Wellness Collective is what brought us together and being so present to the possibilities. I'd love to just be really aware of the times we are globally. And I'm here in New York and you're across the world. How is everything where you are? How is your heart? And how do you find balance when you're trying to create something so important and the globe is facing these turbulent times?
Yeah, yeah, of course. This situation is really weird. We're in now. I think the whole world is experiencing something, at least that in our generation hasn't happened before yet. So it's uh, something that, yeah, that we all have to go through, I think. And of course, I have to be working from home as well, which is a big change from working normally, and it's hard in the beginning. Mm, I have to say, I also had problems again with concentration and focus when I had to work from home, because it's so easy to get distracted also when you are working from home, and it's just different to live and work in the same place that you are. Um, but what I now try to do is really structure my day from uh, when I get up. I try to do some small yoga, then try to meditate, and then try to have breakfast, and then make a planning of what I want to do that day, and also make sure I don't spend too much time reading about all the news, worrying about that. Try and just try to stay positive also, because I think in the end we will get out of this, although it is hard sometimes for the world, of course, right now. And then on the other hand, I also think that through this whole experience that we're going through now, um, when things will start to get back a little bit more to normal, we can appreciate the luxury and all the things that we have normally way more, because now our lives are maybe a little bit more sober. There, you can't go to a lot of places. You can't go to uh, a concert. You can't go to events. You can't go to a bar. But when everything will return back to normal, we'll appreciate it even more. Next to that, I also think this is a good realization on. We are seeing right now that a lot of pollution and other problems in the world are slowing down in a way that we are now polluting the world way less than we did when there was no coronavirus, which is something to take into account also when everything starts going back to normal more, that we should uh, take care of the planet more than we are doing right now, and that we actually can change pretty fast when a virus like this um, comes into the world, basically.
Absolutely. And that's such an important perspective. And I really appreciate you sharing. For those of us that are listening and are curious, where in the world are you recording from right now?
So I'm recording from Delft in the Netherlands. So I don't know how, if the Netherlands is known to people from the USA, but it's a country in Europe that's next to Germany, and I'm in a small city. It's called Delft. It's near Rotterdam and 1 hour away from Amsterdam. Here we also are in what they call intelligent lockdown. So everything, all the public things that you can do are not allowed. You only can go outside to go for a small walk or go for grocery shopping. Basically, most of the stores are closed, and yeah, it's been like that for 5 weeks already. And um, yeah, it just feels like the world is a bit on pause sometimes, but I think yeah, things will change hopefully.
Absolutely. And another reason why I'm just so grateful for technology is that despite the challenging uncertainty that's happening literally around the globe, we're able to connect and have compassionate conversations like this that really just are so grounding, because no matter where you are, we're all facing this. So I really open my heart to this new level of empathy, because it's really, really grounding to feel this global time.
Yeah, yeah. So that's really an important thing you're pointing out there, I think. So, uh, and it really ties into what we are doing with Unplug as well, because it can look a bit like maybe Unplug is a product to get make you get rid of technology, but that's not the case at all because, like you said, for example, us calling now is also possible because of technology, and it is really, I think, about making the right use of technology. And in a way, sometimes one of our visions at Unplug is that we want the user to be able to control technology instead of technology controlling the user. And through meetings like this, and through yeah, a lot of conversations that are happening online, I think right now people still can connect even though it's not possible to physically meet each other anymore. Technology is helping us a lot in these times of social distancing, so to say.
Absolutely. And I really appreciate what you said about giving the user control about what they're doing. And that's really what inspired the Meet mission for me because I felt like technology was pulling me away from myself. And I started this journey to connect with my inner me. So, me, as in like MEEP, me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's really special because when we do use technology as a tool to enhance our experiences and connect with ourselves on a deeper level, it's beautiful and it's really magical that we live in this digital age where literally anything's possible that you can imagine. It's just reclaiming that power and not letting the big tech industries pull our attention away for advertisements that might not be to our best interest, but they increase their wallet. So I just really, really admire and appreciate the work that you're doing. And I'm so excited to see how it unfolds and comes to life and transforms our relationship with technology.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with that.
Beautiful. So I would love to end on a grounding note for a way that we can all take a piece of advice and keep it in our pocket so we keep going. So, with Digital Wellness Day being Friday, May 1st, we are celebrating digital wellness internationally around the globe. So, in preparation for that, we are taking on the Digital Flourishing Challenge, where each week leading up to Digital Wellness Day, we've been focusing on a different aspect of the flourishing wheel. So, this is the last week before Digital Wellness Day on May 1st. So, the last question is in the topic of well being, which the synergy is just so alive in this conversation. So, this week's question that's also featured on the Daily Aloha app is: I feel more centered in turbulent times when I blank. So, for me, I feel more centered in turbulent times when I genuinely connect and use technology as a tool to feel that sense of empathy and connection because I already feel more centered after this conversation. And I'm so grateful, Tim, for you joining.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so now it's my turn to say, I think, for example, I feel more centered and grounded when I meditate. I think it really helps to put every thought you have into perspective, and through that you can really get more grip on what is happening around now. Maybe not even more grip on what is happening around you, but more the other way around. So it can help you to let go, actually, of thoughts of things that are happening around you.
Absolutely. Meditation is such a great way to let go and release anything that we're holding on to. And the power of breath is really a beautiful way to really connect to ourselves through meditation as well.
Hmm. Yeah, so I'm just looking also at the digital flourishing wheel now, and I see under well-being there's these little pointers about, for example, online and offline balance and self expression and creativity and inspiration, positive emotion, and meaning and purpose. And I think, for example, with the first point, the online and offline balance, it's something um, that's pretty important nowadays because it's so easy, especially in these times of social distancing and sitting at home most of your time, that you um, try to create a healthy balance between your online and offline time. So really try to structure time when you're not using technology and when you're not looking at a screen, because it's super easy to just start watching something on YouTube while having lunch, or uh, when you're on a break, scroll through Facebook. But it's, I think, better to use that time to not be distracted by digital impulses and try to, for example, have lunch and only eat or talk with a friend, for example.
Absolutely, being fully present in the moment, but using technology in mindful ways as well. And
Yeah,
I appreciate you mentioning meaning and purpose as part of well being because that's something that through all of the energy, I've been really peeling back the layers of. How do we connect to our meaning and purpose, and how does technology play a role in that? And I think that that's a really divine question.
hmm yeah. So I think through technology, um, there's so many more possibilities for you to explore, to even find meaning and purpose, because there's a lot of online communities that specialize in things that you wouldn't even think exist, for example, and people find meaning in that community. And yeah, I think technology in that way also can bring people together, and even if people are not physically in the same place, they can share a purpose through online collaboration.
So beautiful. And that really connects to the fundamentals of MEEP, which stands for Mindful Experiences Evolving Purpose.
Mm.
So I'm glad that we can foster that conversation and really empower us to think about what's our purpose and how can we use these tools to get there. And connecting to our experiences of sensing our feelings and tactile, seeing, touching. I think that is so powerful with what you were saying with the physical key of unplug, because when we're able to feel and touch and actively, consciously put those distracting apps on our phone again, I think it's really important because then we have the intention of what am I doing on my phone right now? Why am I doing this? And does this connect to my meaning and purpose?
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly the reason why we chose to make it like this. So, uh, so for yeah, for example, if you, I was just talking about watching something on YouTube, for example. I think you can watch something on YouTube without meaning and purpose, but you can also do it with meaning and purpose, because there's so much interesting and cool content on YouTube that can teach you a lot. But if you just go on YouTube without a goal or without something to get out of it, you can wander there for hours and basically lose half of your day. But you can also um, search for some interesting video about I don't know, the power of trees, and learn a lot about what trees can do that you didn't know before.
Absolutely. There's unlimited possibilities, and embracing our power to leverage the tools that are out there and have that level of awareness. So we're consciously creating together online.
Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful.
Hmm.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time. I would like to note that this is a completely unedited podcast. So, this is a container of compassion. And thank you, Tim, for your patience with our technical difficulties getting to record. I think it's really, funny because we're out here talking about digital wellness, and the tech struggles are across the globe for everyone. So,
Hmm. Yeah,
we're
yeah.
all in one.
Yeah, but we got it working in the end, so that's great.
Absolutely. So, where can we find you online to stay connected with the amazing work that you're doing and support your campaign?
Yeah, so you can find Unplug, for example, on Instagram, and it's unplug with a q dot technology. And the same, I think, on Twitter, you can find us at unplug with a q, and also on Facebook and LinkedIn. But I
Yes.
think one
And
of
your
these
website?
platforms would be enough to follow us, and the website with all the general information is www.unplug.com. So,
Wonderful. Well, we're so excited to continue the conversation and see where our journeys unfold. And we're looking forward to virtually celebrating Digital Wellness Day together on May 1st with all of the amazing digital events around the globe.
mhm.
Meep.
Yeah, yeah. I'll be sure to be there as well.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. We'll talk soon, Tim. Have a good one.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for the call as well, and speak to you soon again.
Yes, meep out.
Meet.